The third-ranked women's hockey team opens its season with a series against Providence this weekend in San Jose, California. Friday's game starts at 9 p.m., while Saturday's game is a 5 p.m. start. Head coach Mark Johnson is here. We'll have some opening comments, then take questions.
Thanks, Brian. Certainly excited to be sitting in front of you. It means we're starting the hockey season. Weather may not dictate it with it being so nice outside, but we've been practicing for about 8 or 10 days now, and certainly as a coaching staff, really excited about the way the players came back into start school, and certainly the short time we've had them on the ice indicates to us that they spent the summer working out, conditioning, and are in a good place right now. So the fun part is to get ourselves organized, game week, get an opportunity to not only showcase women's hockey in an area that has quite a bit of history of hockey, but not women's college hockey, and at the same time, try to create some more Badger fans in a different part of the world. So it's an opportunity for us to play a non-conference game against Providence Friday night, and then we'll go back Saturday afternoon. Generally, we've done these type of events in the past. They're well attended, so we should have a nice crowd there, get some great exposure for both programs and certainly women's hockey. And then we'll turn around Sunday morning. Instead of flying home right away, we'll take our players, put their jerseys on, and put a youth clinic on for the area girls, not only in San Jose, but throughout the state of California. We'll get a lot of kids up and get a chance for our players to show some of the tips and things that got them to be a Division I player to these young kids, and hopefully it inspires them to continue with their careers and maybe one day get to play college hockey. So it's really a win-win situation. We're fortunate that our athletic department supports these type of venues. As I said in the past, we've done these on several occasions and exposes women's hockey into an area that may have youth hockey, but they don't have collegiate hockey. So we're very thankful for the opportunity, and I know our players are excited to not only to play the first couple games of the season, but get a chance to do it in a special area.
So how many tickets does Annie Penkowski need then, the California native?
I would say she'll take a few. So obviously, being from the state of California, growing up in a program of girls hockey and obviously playing at a real high level, and for her getting a chance to play last spring in the World Championships for Team USA, I mean, a lot of young players look up to her, and so I'm sure she's going to need a few. Molly Donner grew up in very close to where we're going to be playing, so it's almost like a homecoming for her. And certainly the connection that really started this was one of our former men's players, Rod Romanchuk, who I had a chance to play with a couple of years in Madison. His daughter will be a senior at Providence and is one of their assistant captains. So a few years ago we planted a seed, and now it's coming to fruition, and it's going to be a fun weekend, not only for I know Molly and certainly for Annie, but with Rod's daughter being a senior, growing up in that area, playing hockey in that area, it's going to be fun for her to come back and experience that for her senior year.
You have some minutes on the ice to fill. Have you seen through the first week or so of practice people who look like they've stepped up to where they could move into those roles?
The early indication is, as I mentioned earlier, is the kids, and we had everybody except one of our incoming freshmen able to spend the summer here, and it showcases itself. So they took that seriously. They put themselves in position to start the season in a good place. And as you mentioned, we're going to have some kids step up. We have our 3 returning goaltenders, so we're in pretty good shape back there. We have most of our blue line defensemen coming back. We'll incorporate one freshman there, Michaela Gardner, but up front is going to be, who's going to get the puck in the net, who's going to score. We had a bunch of seniors that have graduated now, and they put the puck in quite a bit for us the last 4 years, and so we'll have some kids step up. And the early indication is, there's a few kids right now that are looking good, but we're just playing against ourselves right now.
You lost quite a few pieces last year. How about the leadership group that you have this year?
I think we're excited about it. You know, you always look over the course of the late spring and early summer, you know, who are you going to be your leaders? And I think, you know, with naming Courtney as our captain, you know, her being a senior, I mean, I saw her this morning, I'm trying to figure out how she became a senior so quickly as time goes by so fast. But, you know, she had a short stint with, you know, the national team. Really spent the summer, you know, upgrading her conditioning, and it shows right now. And so to put the C on her, I think as a coaching staff, we're real excited, you know, being a senior, you know, having watched some of the other former captains that she's played for and under. I think she's learned a lot, and I think she'll do a great job. So we're excited about the leadership. The one thing I keep hearing from our players is the chemistry is good. The players seem to get along. They like being around each other. The one thing, if you watch us practice, we practice hard, and those are all good signs, especially early in the season, that this group has a chance, if they continue doing those things, to put themselves in an opportunity at the end of the season to try to do something special.
Hi, Mark.
You've seen the ice. The ice was in there this morning really early. So
Oh, is that right?
where you were sitting.
Did you help change it? Yeah. My wife was cold last night.
Yeah.
Where are the hotbeds of the development of girls and women's hockey now? Is California like a place that you just scratching the surface? Or no?
I think, well, if you look at, some of the males and females that have come out of there the last, let's say 10 years, I mean, it's had pockets and it's had growth and it's produced a bunch of real good players, and so to answer your question, there isn't one specific spot, but I think, there's areas where kids are coming out of that you might not think have a lot of hockey, but Southern California is an area that over the last 8 or 10 years has produced a number of players that either played here at Wisconsin or played at other Division I schools, and that's not only on the female side, but as well on the boys' side. And there's going to be pockets that just by numbers has a lot more players, so they're going to produce more kids. And whether it's the state of Minnesota or the province of Ontario, there's a lot of kids playing. The neat thing is you're seeing a lot of exposure from our better elite players. One being Hillary Knight has sort of become the spokesperson for women's hockey and getting a chance to not only do some endorsements for some different companies, but getting a chance to participate in an NHL training camp and really get the word out about women's hockey and some of the things that she's been able to do at her, not only at her career at Wisconsin, but certainly at the highest level with the Olympics and the national team. So with word of mouth and exposure from a lot of these, elite players, whether it's Megan Duggan or Brianna Decker or Jessie Vetter, who's done some things with some different companies locally, that all helps. And so if you've got a young daughter, and all of a sudden she sees an ad with Hillary Knight on it, or is at a clinic that Hillary Knight's putting on free of charge, that might spark your interest and go see mom and dad and say, hey, I want to try hockey. So there's different pockets that are growing, and the one fun part about being on the women's side is that our numbers are continuing to grow. And so as we get more exposed to players and their opportunities that they're taking advantage of, we're going to see more kids get involved.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Mark.